My name is Mary, and I need to tell you something that happened to me that changed everything I thought I knew about love and trust. So sit down and listen carefully, because this is not just a story, it is a warning too. I was walking down the hallway of my house thinking about what to eat for dinner, when I heard laughter coming from the bedroom, and it was her voice, my wife's voice, mixed with the sound of her two best friends laughing so loud like they had no care in the world. And then I heard her say something that froze my whole body, and I mean really froze, like time had stopped. She said, "He is so dumb, he will never find out what I've been doing." And then they all laughed again, and I stood there behind the door completely still, trying to breathe, trying to understand what I had just heard, because those words, they were not a joke, they were not funny, they were sharp like a knife right in the middle of my chest. I wanted to open that door and scream. I wanted to ask what she meant. What was she hiding? What was going on? But something inside me told me to wait and to listen more, because maybe, just maybe, there was more to it than it seemed, or maybe I was already too late to find out the truth. And let me tell you now, what she was hiding was not what you think. It was much worse, much more cruel. And before this story ends, you're going to see things you did not expect, so stay with me. And if you think you would have reacted differently, write in the comments below, and do not forget to like and subscribe, because we are so close to hitting our goal, and your support means everything. We had been married for 5 years, and things were never perfect, but they were stable, or at least that is what I thought. We did not have kids. We had our routines. I worked outside all day, and she stayed home working remotely. She always said she liked the quiet, the freedom to move at her own pace. And I respected that. When I came home, dinner was usually ready, the house was clean, and she always smiled like everything was fine. But over time I started noticing little things that felt out of place, like how she would end phone calls quickly when I entered the room, or how she always locked her screen and laughed alone while texting. I thought maybe I was overthinking, maybe it was stress from work, or just boredom playing with my head, but the truth is that my gut was already warning me something was off, and I ignored it because I trusted her, or maybe because I was too afraid to face the idea that something was really wrong. You see, it is easy to miss the signs when you love someone, because your heart wants peace even when your mind screams that something is not right. I did not want to believe she could be hiding something, but now when I look back, I realize the signs were all there, and the moment I heard her voice with her friends laughing and mocking me, it all came rushing in like a wave, hitting me straight in the chest. That night, I came home earlier than usual, and I did not tell her I was on my way. I just wanted to surprise her, maybe bring some food, maybe spend a little time together. But when I opened the door, the house was already filled with laughter. It was coming from the bedroom, soft at first, then louder and louder, like they did not care who could hear. I took off my shoes, walked quietly down the hallway, and stopped in front of the door, and that is when I heard it clear as day, her voice saying, "He is so dumb, he will never figure out what I've been doing." And then laughter, more laughter. I remember my hand was shaking, and I had to hold onto the wall because my legs almost gave out. My mind went blank. I just kept hearing that line again and again, like a broken record spinning in my head. I could not move, I could not breathe. The girl I married, the woman I trusted, the person I told everything to, was laughing with her friends about how clueless I was, and I felt so small, so stupid, so exposed. And the worst part is I had no idea what she was talking about. Was it someone else? Was it something illegal? Was it a game? Was I just entertainment to her? I stepped back quietly, like a ghost, trying not to make a sound, and I sat on the stairs in the dark with my heart beating so loud I thought it would give me away. And in that moment, I knew something had changed forever. No matter what the truth was, things were not going to be the same ever again. I did not sleep that night, not even for a second. I just kept hearing her voice echoing in my head, that laugh, that sentence, that cold feeling in my chest, like I had just stepped into a nightmare and could not wake up. But instead of confronting her right away, something told me to wait, to pay attention, to look at the details, to collect everything before speaking. So that is what I did. The next morning, I acted normal, like nothing happened. I kissed her forehead, said good morning, made coffee like always, and watched her carefully, every move, every word, every time she looked down at her phone and smiled. I started checking her routine, writing things down in my notebook. When she left, when she came back, who she talked to, and how long the calls lasted. Sometimes she would say she was going to the pharmacy, but she would take over an hour. Sometimes she would come back smelling like someone else's perfume, and her excuses got thinner every day. One day she left her phone on the kitchen table, unlocked just for a second, and I took a quick look. I found a group chat with her two friends. It was called the Crazy Weekend Girls, but the chat was clean, too clean. All messages deleted, only emojis left behind like they were covering tracks after a crime. I knew I needed more, so I bought a small recorder and hid it under the passenger seat of her car. I felt crazy, I felt ashamed, but I needed answers, and fast. I listened to hours of silence, of random music, of nothing. And then on the third day, I heard her voice again, laughing on the phone and saying, "Tomorrow, he will be working late. We can do it at the house. He will never know." My blood turned cold. I did not know who she was talking to or what she meant, but I knew I could not let tomorrow pass without acting. I had to see with my own eyes, because whatever this was, it was bigger than just suspicion. Now it was war. I woke up the next day with my heart racing. I could not think about anything else, just her words, just that recording playing over and over in my head. Tomorrow, he'll be working late, we can do it at the house, he will never know. I did not know what to expect, but I had already made a plan. I told her I had an extra shift at work and that I would be home really late. I kissed her on the cheek like always, pretending everything was fine, and then I left, but instead of going to work, I parked my car 2 streets away and waited with the engine off and the windows down. I sat there for hours, watching, listening, barely breathing. Every time a car passed, I thought it was him. Every time a shadow moved behind a curtain, I thought it was starting. And then around 5:30, a dark gray car pulled up and parked in front of our house. I grabbed my phone and started recording just in case. And then I saw him. He stepped out of the car, tall, clean shaved, wearing a black jacket and a backpack. He walked to the door, and she opened it right away. She smiled, they hugged, he stepped inside, and the door closed behind them, and I just sat there frozen, not knowing what to do. Part of me wanted to run inside and scream, part of me wanted to drive away and never come back, but instead, I waited. 1 hour passed, then my stomach was turning. I felt like I could explode, and all I could think was, who is this guy? What are they doing in my house? What was she hiding that she felt the need to laugh about it with her friends and tell me to my face that I would never find out? I could not take it anymore. After 2.5 hours, I got out of the car, walked straight to the front door, and opened it without knocking, without calling, just walked in, heart racing, hands shaking, ready to see the worst. But when I stepped into the living room, they both froze, and I froze too, because the mysterious man from the car was not some stranger. He was not a secret lover. He was her brother, someone I had only seen in photos, because he lived in another city far away and never visited, not once in 5 years, and now suddenly he was here sitting in my house with my wife while I was supposed to be at work. And then he said something that made my blood turn to ice. He looked at her and said, "So the plan is working, right?" And she nodded and laughed and said, "Yeah, he has no idea." And then they both looked at me, realizing I had heard everything. I demanded an explanation right there, right then, and the way they looked at me like I was the one who had done something wrong made everything feel upside down, because for a moment I thought, wait, maybe this is not about cheating, maybe this is something else. And it was something else, but not better, not easier, not more innocent. It was the beginning of something much worse. They told me to sit down and calm down, but how do you stay calm when your whole world feels like a trap? They looked at each other, then back at me, and she finally spoke. She said, "I thought you were cheating on me." She said, "I saw messages on your phone late at night, messages with that woman from your work, the one you always say is just a friend." And I could not take it anymore. She said, "I felt humiliated, I felt betrayed, and I wanted you to feel the same." And I just stared at her, completely silent, not because I believed her, but because I could not believe she really thought this was okay. She told me the whole thing was a plan. She invited her brother to adjure her, to scare me, to confuse me, to make me believe she was cheating. So I would feel the same pain that she felt, even though she never confirmed anything, even though she never asked, even though she never gave me the chance to explain. She said her friends helped, they gave her ideas, encouraged her, said it would be fun, like a joke, like a test, to see how I would react. She said they cleaned the group chat, so I would never find any proof. She said the voice messages, the car, the laughter, everything was part of the game, and in her mind, she thought it was fair. And when she said that word fair, something broke inside me, because how can revenge be fair when it is built on lies and silence and assumptions? How can humiliating someone you love ever be just a lesson? And that was when I realized that even if I proved my innocence, even if I showed her the truth, something inside us had already died. Then I told her the truth, the whole truth, that those messages she saw were not about betrayal, but about a surprise I was planning for her for our 6th anniversary. I was working with my colleague, the woman she suspected, to organize a secret party, a renewal of our vows, something special, something to show her how much I loved her, and how much I wanted to fix what had been broken over the years. But she never let me explain, never gave me the chance. She just assumed, she judged, and she acted on those assumptions with a cruelty I never imagined. And that was the worst part, because the joke, the plan, the laughter was not about her freedom or happiness. It was about hurting me, about making me feel small and stupid when all I wanted was to love her better. And in that moment I understood that sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes suspicion and pride can destroy even the strongest bonds. And as I said, those moments changed everything forever. After everything ended, I knew I had to walk away, even though part of me still loved her. The lack of trust, the silence, the lies, they built a wall too high to climb. And I learned a hard lesson that day, that sometimes people hurt the ones they love the most, not because they want to, but because they are afraid, because they do not know how to face the truth, because they prefer pain to honesty. And I want you to remember that trust is fragile, and once broken, it is hard to fix. Communication is the key to avoid the tragedy that destroyed my marriage. And if you are watching this now and feeling a little doubt, a little fear, do not ignore it, do not let it grow. Talk openly, listen carefully, and never let silence become your enemy, because silence can hide the worst secrets and ruin the strongest love. If you stayed until now, please comment trust is everything and tell me what you would do in my place. Your opinion matters a lot to me and it helps others too. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It means the world and helps bring more stories like this. Right now on your screen there is another video with a story you will not believe. So click it, watch it, and stay with us until next time. Thanks for listening and see you soon.